Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you so much for downloading or streaming the Be Our Guest podcast. Happy President's Day to everybody here in the States, and happy Family Day to everybody up in Canada. I got to learn something on today's show, which is pretty awesome. Speaking of Canada, Rebecca joins us from up in Ontario to talk about her trip with her family down to Walt Disney World, where she got to show her daughter and her husband all the places that she got to experience on her international program back in the day, where she was a representative from Canada in Epcot. So we talk about times working at Le Cellier and all around the Canada Pavilion. Great stories there. We kind of took a trip down memory lane, days at Pleasure Island, and when Expedition Everest was being built. She finally got to take her ride on this trip this year. But we talk about fun times with the family and all 4 theme parks, staying at Pop Century, day at Typhoon Lagoon, and more. Lots of nostalgia and lots of fun times on today's show. Also some Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, from yesterday to today. So we have a good time on today's podcast. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We're standing by to help you plan an amazing Disney adventure. Best part, no additional cost to you. Same price as it's always been since 2008. Free, nothing extra. That's right. So check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you do that online shopping. All you got to do is click through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon, and it supports our show with every purchase. So thank you for doing that. And thank you to our Patreon supporters. You guys keep us on the air. $5 a month is all it costs, and you support our podcast. You get all this content, and it really does make a difference. So if you could, give us some support. It's it's patreon.com/beourguestpodcast.
Ready to take a trip to the world? You found the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. This is where your memories come front and center on our podcast stage.
Welcome to episode 2846 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from beourguestpodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you and happy President's Day here in the United States of America. Celebrating good old George and Abe and all the other great presidents we've had in our country's history, and celebrating that it's probably very, very busy down at Walt Disney World this weekend, as always. But people are having a good time, I'm sure, down there. You know, going around Epcot, snacking, having a good time. That's what we'll probably see on social media this weekend. And it's a great time to escape the north to get down south, and hopefully the weather has moderated and everybody's having a great time with this 3-day weekend. And up in Canada, I just learned something. We're having a special holiday up there as well. So to join us today, we have Rebecca from up in Ontario. Rebecca, thanks for coming on the show. Happy Monday to you. What's going on?
Happy Monday to you as well, Mike, and to the listeners.
So fill us in on the...
back on again.
I'm glad to have you. Fill us in on the... So not President's Day up in Canada, but what's the holiday up there today you guys are celebrating?
We have Family Day.
So
that's celebrated in Ontario and a few other provinces.
Okay, so tell us about like what's Family Day up there. What do you do? I mean, is just
Family
a day to hang out with your family?
To spend time with your family. It's an extra day just to kind of get through until March break, and just to spend some quality time with your family and have the day off together. So I'm looking forward to it.
I like that idea. Why don't we have that in the States? I mean, come on, like that's a great idea. I love that.
Yeah,
nice.
It's only been around for I would say less than 10 years maybe now. I'm not sure on the exact year that it started. I'd have to look back. But yeah, we're happy to have the day in February for sure.
So schools are closed, like banks and all that stuff are closed, like everything?
Yes.
I like that. Nice. Okay, cool. All right, so glad to have you back on the show up in Canada. Surviving, this is the time of the year where we're saying mid-February. I mean, Lord help us, let's just get to the spring, right? I mean, hanging in there and just kind of dreaming for... can we make it to the spring, right? We're going to make it.
Absolutely. I think there were some conflicting reports from the groundhogs.
Oh.
I think the one in Canada said one thing, the one in Pennsylvania said another thing. So I'm not sure
I didn't
on
know.
what it's going to be.
Yeah, we'll see. You're Canadian. I didn't even know you guys had a groundhog. I hate to say that,
Yes.
but I was in Disneyland when the Puxatawny Phil guy he did us dirty, I think, and gave us the 6 more weeks of winter because that was going around while we were out there, and I'm like, oh, that dog, we don't need that this because it's been rough. And while that was happening, that's when it was almost below zero at Walt Disney World, and people, fountains were freezing and iguanas were falling out of trees.
I saw some photos.
Oh, it was sick,
crazy.
It was nuts. I know, seriously. I was on the right coast that weekend. I'll tell you what, it was like 85 out there in Disneyland, and it was so cold. Thank you. But anyway, so we're going to talk about your trip, but I want to get some of your background and just kind of refresh the listeners, because we're going to talk about a really unique trip down to Walt Disney World. But you have a really cool background in that you were part of the magic at Walt Disney World in the international program. So even before that, let's take a step even beyond that. So did you grow up as a little girl being a huge Disney fan, or where's your fandom start and how do you get to that point?
Yes, I went quite a few times as a child, and my parents did it economically. We just hop in the van, and drive down to Florida. We stayed in local motels, and we had a great time going to Walt Disney World. I only remember staying on property once, and I think that was at one of the All-Star hotels. And I went to Euro Disney in 2000 when I graduated high school. So that was a pretty cool experience. We had an exchange student come and stay with us at our home from France. And then I went and saw her when I was done high school. And then I went to college at a local college in Niagara, and I saw an advertisement through the hiring agency in Canada for Walt Disney World. And I applied. I went through a series of interviews and got the job. And I started at Epcot at the Canadian Pavilion on the international program in February of 2003. And I started down there in food and beverage, working in Le Cellier Steakhouse, and also out on the popcorn cart and in the beaver tail hut when they had one. I know it's gone now, but that was one of my
days. That's good old days right there.
One of my duties. Yes. And I was there until February of 2004. And then I came back to Canada, life took over responsibilities, and my Disney love was always there, but kind of was on hold for a little bit until my husband and I went to Disneyland in 2018 before our daughter was born. We had a great time out there. And then we went on the Disney Wonder to Alaska in August of 2024. We had a wonderful time. We absolutely loved it. And then we talked about planning a trip to Walt Disney World. I hadn't been there in 17 years, and my husband and my daughter had never been there. So we got the wheels moving with planning a trip there, and we just went there in August of last year. And it was fantastic.
So I love that we're going to dive into this trip because it's got so many cool dynamics with the fact that your husband and your daughter had never been, yet you had basically, you'd lived there. You'd been part of the magic. You're backstage. You're part of the whole show. Before we dive into the trip, I am curious. I love, because cast members truly do make the magic. They're the reason we go back time and time again. We celebrate that here on our podcast. Well, give us a memory or two, like a story or something from, maybe advice for somebody that's considering. I know it was a while ago. I mean, it's like when I talk about working in Space Camp, I think it was 2 years ago. I mean, I worked there 2001 to 2003. And I still think it was a couple years ago. It's 20 some years ago. Like, it's so long ago. But yes. I still have such a fondness for it, because if I could have had that job forever, I would have kept it. Just practically I couldn't, because it was in Alabama. But, what do you remember that you hold in your heart that was special about, you got to work at Epcot? I mean, you got to work in Le Cellier, one of the best restaurants I've ever eaten at in my life, for the atmosphere, yes, the food, the experiences. Like, just give a couple stories for us.
It was incredible working there. And going back there in August, I remember leaving work at the end of a shift at night, walking through the park when it was quiet, when all the lights were on and the music was playing lightly, and I would walk out to the bus. I always had such a nice feeling. It was very relaxing. So when I was at the park in August, I loved being there at nighttime and experiencing that. I met so many friends down there from Canada as well as from all over the world. I had roommates from Mexico, from Italy, Japan, Germany. We all lived together in the Commons, which I think is no longer owned by Disney, but we all lived together. We would just, see who was off for the day. We would go to the parks on our days off, and we would, rent a car, go to a beach. I met so many wonderful people down there. I learned about all the different cultures. It was absolutely amazing to be part of it. And I'm so glad that I did it. And I would recommend it to anybody that is interested in doing it. And just when I was down there, I just tried to take advantage of any opportunities that came my way. Different courses that they held at Disney University, or just getting together with friends, going to different parts of Florida. It was just fantastic.
I love to hear that, because you kind of embrace the whole experience, right? And embrace the opportunity to meet people from all over the world. Because I mean, what an international program, you are going to get to meet people from different cultures, different corners of the world, which is the whole point of the thing. So when you worked at Le Cellier, did you work as a server? Or did you work back, like kind of behind the house, or how was that?
Well, when you first started at the time in food and beverage, you started outside on the popcorn cart or in the beaver tail hut. And then eventually you made your way into the restaurant, where you would become a seater, table assigner, a food runner. And then ultimately your final position would be that of a server. So I was the server for the last 5 months of my contract, but I did work on the popcorn cart. I worked on the beaver tail hut. I worked at the drink station. So the drink station was backstage next to there was somebody that was prepping like salads and desserts that was not on the international program. And I would make drinks back there and get them ready for the servers, and then was a server, like I said, for the last 5 months, which was excellent.
So just the last thing on that, I'm just curious, did you ever, like when you came home, did you ever did you work as a server anywhere like back in Ontario? I'm just curious, like if
I actually didn't.
Because I was wondering, you either like wanted to when you got home, or like, I'm never touching a restaurant again because like it was special. Like Epcot was cool because like, it's unmatched to be in a place like Le Cellier, right? I mean, I'm not going to go to Applebee's and be a server now.
Right.
Or maybe somebody's like, I loved it. It was a challenge trying to keep up with 5 tables on a Friday night, and it was just the chaos is something I discovered that I thrive with. I just like to see how people are built. I was wondering that for you.
Well, for me, I didn't actually go when I came home to work in a restaurant. The new casino was opening, the Fallsview Casino Resort. So I was very interested in getting a job there, which I ended up getting a job. I definitely believe that Disney helped me with it being on my resume. I worked in the theater there where all the bands performed. But I found when I would go to a restaurant, I had high expectations after working at Le Cellier. And I always remembered one of the golden rules was 2 minutes or 2 bites. That's how they wanted us to, be on top of things with our guests. 2 minutes, 2 bites. You went back to the table to check how everybody's meal was.
Let's bring it back, Josh. Let's go. I never heard of that, but that's how it should be. Yes.
So just a high level of service expectations, and dining anywhere else was never quite the same because it just always stuck in my head on how things should be, and most of the time it's not going to be that way.
Oh man, I love this. And one thing I do remember about Le Cellier, though, the breads, like the breads represented the provinces and all that. Yeah, see, I always listened to it. They brought out the bread and stuff. Anyway, all right, so let's talk about your trip. So, I mean, super excited, right? To be able to take your husband there and like show him, because I'm sure you've had shared stories about it. And so how old was your daughter when you went down?
She is 7, and she was 7 when she went down there.
Oh, perfect age. Okay, so tell us about the planning. Like you know the lay of the land. They have no idea. So planning the trip, like how do you make sure this is going to be perfect for everybody?
I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of YouTube, and I had some general knowledge of the parks, but a lot has changed as well since I was there. Like the Skyliner was not there when I was down there. So I knew I wanted a resort or a hotel that was on the Skyliner route. So we stayed at Pop Century, and I just wanted to be close to transportation to get back to the resort in case my daughter was getting tired or it was too hot. And that worked out perfectly. So just a lot of reading, research, going on YouTube, listening to the podcast, your podcast, which I love and I'm a big fan of. And I booked Pop Century 6-day park hopper tickets, and I ended up getting the free dining. They had a Canada deal that was on, so we received the free dining as well. And I had some memories of being there where I wanted to dine, what were must sees for us to do, and just kind of went from there.
Okay, so this could be a little bit different than other shows. So like your arrival, right? Okay, so your husband, again, they have not been. You have. You get there, I guess you fly down, you land, you get to property. Was it kind of like, because I remember like I went back to space camp after about 10 years for like a NASA tweet up. They were having an event there through NASA. And of course I applied because it was on the campus where I taught, and like you got to do some cool things. But I just wanted to go back just to go down memory lane, right? Because you got to go on the Sims from the other side. Like I got to be a participant in the simulators and all that stuff. And I'm like, I taught this from the other side. So going back, I was like, ooh, this is so cool. I'm going down memory lane. So, I mean, was it flooding back to you as you kind of like went under the gates, got on property again? Like, I mean, there's new things, but I mean, was it like, boom, hitting you right away?
Absolutely. We took Mears transportation from the airport, and we were on the bus, and we were heading to the Walt Disney World property. We passed under the giant Walt Disney World sign. That brought me right back. I remember being in the bus that would take me from the Commons where I lived to Epcot, back and forth. And it brought me right back. It felt like when I walked through the parks, it felt like no time had passed. When I was in Epcot, it felt like I was, 20, 21 years old again. Like I had never left. It felt like home to me. And I left a part of my heart there, and it just felt amazing to be back.
I love hearing that. That's exactly how I feel when I go to places like that. It's like, oh man, like, no time has changed. Let's all look in the mirror. It's like, oh my gosh, it has a little bit, but it's like, wow, that was yesterday.
Yes,
so
me too.
Okay, so Pop Century, let's kind of break down the basics for everybody else listening, maybe, thinking about this. So how did it work out for you guys? You had the Skyliner. Did it meet your expectations? Because you had no expectations. You hadn't used it. And what did you think overall? What did your husband think? Your daughter think?
It was fantastic. We love the atmosphere of the resort. We love the different decades. We stayed in the 50s decade. We loved the big Disney statues that they had around the property. Our room was clean. Our daughter loved the Murphy bed that pulled in and out of the wall. Mm-hmm. It was plenty of space for us because you could put the bed back up and have a table there to dine. Eva loved our daughter's name is Eva. She loved the Hey Disney. She loved playing around with that. And the food court was convenient. It could be kind of chaotic at times, like at peak times, but for the most part, there was a variety of options to choose from. Breakfast, lunch, dinner. There was a great coffee station there. And we enjoyed the gift shop as well. The first morning that we were leaving to head over to Epcot, there was a cast member in the gift shop that sprinkled pixie dust on my daughter, and she was just thrilled. And that was a special moment.
That's awesome.
The Skyliner was awesome. We loved riding on that. We would kind of look at the different themed Skyliner cars and try to get on different ones, like Zootopia or Dory. There was favorite cars that we tried to get on, and we found it very convenient and efficient. And yeah, we enjoyed staying at Pop Century.
I'm right with you. It's my jam because I'm a nostalgia guy, and it's just got so much going on there. The music, and I like the 50s too. That bowling pin pool's like kind of just perfect. Like it's right there. It's good stuff.
Yes.
I like that. I like the 70s too. The 70s. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm from the 70s. I don't know. It's a good spot. The big 8 tracks. Okay, so let's talk about your fun times in the park. We don't have to go sequentially, but just some of the memories. I mean, obviously Epcot's going to be a sweet spot for you, but you guys had 6 days in the park. So just, what were some of the best times? Like, what were some of the best memories from the trip?
The best memories, starting with Epcot, the first day we went to Epcot, and the Skyliner dropped us off, and we walked in through, between France and the UK there. Mm-hmm. And it was, like I said, it was awesome. The feeling of being back there. I was in my glory. I was so happy It's like a little kid being back there. We went over to France and we had breakfast in the bakery area there,
Good call.
and some champagne just to toast the trip. And when we were done there, we went on Remy because Remy wasn't there when I worked there, and that was cool. And then we walked over to through the UK, and we went over to Canada just
Of course.
to
I was
stand
gonna
there.
say, you had to go straight. If you'd go straight there right away, I'd have been like, wait. If you'd have gone to France and then went like towards Morocco or something, I'd have been like, wait.
No.
The story's going the wrong way already. What's going on? Okay, good. Now,
Yes.
did you wear anything like on the first day, like, Epcot or Canada or something? Come on, you had to. Please.
We had matching Mickey Canada shirts.
Oh, good stuff. Okay,
So
that's what I had.
Those were fun photos to take.
Okay, good. Because in my
Yes.
mind's eye,
And
you guys
stood
were all
under-
wearing that. Okay, good. All right.
Yes. We stood under the Le Cellier sign, had pictures done, walked through the gardens there, took some pictures in front of the restaurant, and then we saw the movie, and that was interesting to see because it changed a little bit since I was there. There was new narrators.
Yeah, it's
I
not.
think
It's
Eugene
not.
Levy
As,
and
it's not as good
Catherine
as it,
O'Hara.
It's not as good as it. Well, I mean, R.I.P. Catherine O'Hara. I mean,
Yes.
I shouldn't say
Canadian
anything.
treasure.
I agree. I shouldn't say anything bad about it, but the old one was better. Just the old. I like the old movies with anything. Don't touch China. Like Impressions
For
of France
sure.
is perfect.
Leave things how they are.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with them.
Exactly. Yes, Martin.
Yes.
The old Martin Short one. It's one I
Yes.
like. Yeah. So anyway, yes. So go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so we walked around there and we continued on looking around at the different countries. We ended up having lunch at Via Napoli. I heard really good things about it. We had a great dining experience there. And then we dined in Le Cellier for dinner.
Oh, good.
So we ended up going back to our resort. We changed and then hopped on the Skyliner, came back, and I just couldn't resist dining in Le Cellier. So we walk in the door. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I just was so happy to be back. And the girl that seated us at our table, she actually was from my hometown,
No
St.
way.
Catharines, Ontario, which was super cool. So she seated us. I thought, what are the odds of that? And then I heard that jazz music playing, the same loop still plays in the
Shut up!
restaurant.
It's the exact
that
same.
it played
I was gonna say
20,
because
over 20 years ago.
yeah, Le Cellier. I mean, I was trying to think like it is pretty much untouched. I mean, there's our places on property that have been pretty much untouched, and Le Cellier might be one of those places.
Yes, which I appreciated.
Me too.
I like that it was pretty much the same. There was a couple things that had changed just with the presentation of the menu, as opposed to just paper. They had the wooden board. So it was slight changes, but for the most part, it was the same. And I had to order my Canadian cheddar cheese soup,
Yes.
and it was awesome, delicious. We had a great meal there. And then we finished off the night by viewing the fireworks from Canada, which was very special. And I loved illuminations. I remember working on the popcorn cart or Beaver Tail Hut, and I saw that show many times.
Oh, you
So
lucky dog.
I do have fond memories of it, but I was just, still thrilled to see the new show, and I just find it amazing that they put it on every single night. It blows my mind.
What a first day. I mean, right there, back in your glory. And so what
It was awesome.
were you telling? I mean, I'd imagine you're regaling your husband with stories throughout dinner, right? I mean, I would be like, come on.
Absolutely, yes.
Pointing stuff out. So
It was
that's
great.
Pretty great. Okay. So your daughter though, the first day, I mean, she kind of this, I mean, was she expecting maybe, cause Epcot's not going to have a ton of like rides, but I mean, you're seeing the
Right.
countries, you're kind of easing her in. I mean, what was her thoughts on the first day? Kind of easing into the vacation.
The moment one thing I should have mentioned when we came in through between France and the UK there, once we got off the Skyliner, we walk in and there's Daisy just
Yes.
walking around. So my daughter got to meet Daisy right off the hop, have her picture taken with her. She had her autograph book there, got her autograph. That was really neat. And then we were able to meet a few princesses. We saw Aurora in France, and I believe we saw a couple others that day. So my daughter really, really enjoyed that. But we went to Magic Kingdom the next day, and that was maybe more tailored to her age with the rides and
Yep.
the characters.
Yep. I've seen Daisy in that exact spot there across from World Traveler, just kind of hanging out
Yes.
there, looking for you, either catching you on the way out, catching you on the way into the International Gateway. It's a good spot there. It's kind of shady.
Yeah, so that
too.
was neat.
Okay, so tell us about the Magic Kingdom, because I mean, this is, I'm sure, like, you know, the high target area for your daughter. She's gonna have plenty to do. You got, I'm sure you guys are ready to just rock and first full day here. So, well, for like a big day here. So, give us the deets.
Yeah, so we decided to stop off at Ohana for breakfast first at the Polynesian.
You guys are eating so good. I should have hung out with you guys, man.
So we had a great breakfast there. The food was delicious. My daughter loved meeting all the characters, Stitch and Mickey, Pluto. We had a great time there. And then we hopped on the monorail, which is a cool experience for my daughter and husband, because they obviously never been to Disney. So that was interesting for them to take that into the Magic Kingdom. And we had a great day there. It was obviously hot, a lot more crowded there, but we still had a good time. My daughter actually loved the Haunted Mansion ride, which is my favorite ride. I wasn't sure if she was going to be kind of frightened of that, but she kept wanting to go on the Haunted Mansion. She really enjoyed that. We kind of started off though. We went on the Jungle Cruise, the Tiki Room, kind of that area, Aladdin's Magic Carpets, and then kind of made our way around. We ended up having lunch at the Starlight Cafe because I had to see Cosmic Ray there.
Oh, good. Sunny
so we had lunch there.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
And then, yeah, we had dinner at Tony's the first day. So we had a good experience there. I'm trying to think of what else we did. I forgot to mention even the day we checked into the Pop Century, we went to Typhoon Lagoon. I left that out. I hadn't been there. I'd been to Typhoon Lagoon as a child. I went to Blizzard Beach when I worked at Epcot. We had a good time. It was very busy there, but we had a great time. And my daughter got pixie dusted as soon as we walked in there. There's a cast member that gave her a bucket with shovels and pails and Disney themed. So I don't know if it was something that was maybe just the netting around it maybe had ripped. So she gave it to her and she was thrilled about that. So yeah, we started off at Typhoon Lagoon, Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and then day 3, we ended up going to Animal Kingdom, which I think all of us absolutely love the Animal Kingdom. Just the atmosphere. We just found it very relaxing. It wasn't too busy there. We were able to go to Rafiki's. My daughter loved going to pet the goats there, and
it's a good thing she did.
She loved the train ride.
They're going away. So that's a good thing.
I heard. So I'm glad we at least got to see it.
Exactly.
See it once.
Yeah.
My husband and daughter love Bluey, so they'll be
there
okay.
You go. So yeah, you're in business. Too. Yeah, you're good choice.
Yes. And it was kind of cool for my daughter to go in the boneyard. I know that's gone now. So she was totally, having a ball in there.
Speaking of things gone, we're just going to keep checking. She loved dinosaur.
Yes. They weren't too keen on the dinosaur ride. Okay. We did go on it. I loved it, but my husband tends to get a little motion sick on rides. So there's certain things that he prefers not to go on. Yeah. Remy was one of them. Like, I was fine on Remy, but he might be okay with it now that it's 2D.
Yep.
But certain things kind of make him feel a little motion sick. And my daughter's not a huge fan of kind of roller coaster type rides, but we did go on dinosaur. But her and a bunch of other kids just had a ball playing in the sand at the boneyard.
Yeah.
They were just sitting there, and out of all the things they could be doing, they're just sitting there playing in the sand, going down the slides. They loved it.
It's a great. That was a great playground area. I mean,
yes,
it was undefeated, but it's gone.
Yes. So while they were there, I ran off to. It started to rain at this point, and I ran off to Everest because when I worked at Epcot in 2003, it was being built. It was never open when I was there, so I had to make sure I got on that ride. So I just went in the single rider line, hopped on. It was raining during the ride. I loved it. It was super cool. I had a blast. So glad I did it. And it was worth the wait.
Literally the wait of like almost 2 decades. not like 30 minutes, like 2 decades. Yeah, exactly. I was there when it was being built too. I have pictures of me standing. You can see the steel girders and stuff. Yeah, before they put built the mountain around it. Yeah, it was cool. Yes. I remember like, that's gonna be the coolest roller coaster someday. Yeah, I remember those days. Yeah.
So that was cool. And then we went to Yak and Yeti for dinner, and that was probably one of the best meals we had on the whole trip.
I'm with you.
We had a great great time there. It was really good.
Did you guys get did you get the fried green beans?
No, we didn't get those.
Oh, they're so
No.
good. You dip them in ranch. Whew.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
I'll have to keep that in mind
Yeah.
for next time.
Next time, I'm telling you. Well, I mean, anything dipped in ranch is good, but
Absolutely.
all right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so that was a great great day there. We really enjoyed it, and then we had a day off. The fourth day, we went to Disney Springs just to walk around. It was a rainy day that day, and excuse me, and then we went over to the Commons where I used to live. We took an Uber over there just to see the apartment complex on right near the premium outlets.
Okay, now that
And
was
my church.
no, but that was a shocker, right? That had to be now that changed. I'm sure, like a lot in 17 years, right? No.
Yes, I used to go over to the premium outlets. I used to walk through a field between where I lived. There was just a field. Now there's a parking garage. But all the cast members, we used to walk from our apartment. We'd go shopping, go to the food court. And yeah, it definitely has been a lot more built up. And we went into my church that I used to go to, Mary Queen of the Universe, saw that. And then I was just super thrilled to be able to show my daughter and husband kind of the lay of the land and where I used to live. And I used to rollerblade around there.
Oh my gosh.
Disney did provide transportation to grocery stores or Walmart, but I would throw on my rollerblades and I would rollerblade over to Publix and take them off, walk through, just hold on to them, walk through, grab a few groceries, and then rollerblade back to my apartment. So I have great memories from that
We're
area.
of the same generation. I spent a lot of time on inline skates. I love that we worked that into the show. But okay, real quick though, you get over just a couple seconds though. Disney Springs. I mean, it's so different than what downtown Disney used to be, right? I mean, it's unrecognizable. Yes. I mean, it does
Absolutely.
not.
And Pleasure Island used to be there. We used to go to Pleasure Island at least once a week when I was working there. We would take a bus,
so good,
party bus, and go to Pleasure Island with
tracks.
all the cast members.
Yeah, 8 tracks and I didn't go to Mannequins. I stayed away from that one.
We used
but
to
I
go
went
to Motion. Motion was our place.
In the country one.
Yeah.
In the country one. I go in there too. But I liked 8 tracks. It was the 80s and then there was a comedy club too. I like that one. That was kind of fun.
Yes. And then there was the Adventurers Club too, which I popped into a couple times.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that was kind of different having that not there. I miss it.
Same.
I have awesome memories from there. So yes, it definitely changed a lot. I could see that some of the stores were kind of the same, but then a lot was different. Yeah. So we just kind of went in and out of a few shops, and it was a rainy day, so it was perfect for that.
You're like, where's Disney Quest? Where'd you put Disney Quest?
Right.
I just want to play some video games. Where's it at? Where's Virgin Megastore? It's not here.
Yes, anymore. I used to buy CDs in the store there.
Me too.
And there was I feel like there was an escalator that took you to the second floor.
Oh yeah, there was.
Yes.
I have a picture of me riding it because I bought a Disney. It was like a Disney. I was so proud of it, and I don't know why, because they did have a gajillion CDs in that store.
Yes,
it was Disney songs, but they were like club mixes. It was the weirdest. It was you heard it on the Disney Cruise Line like early in the morning on the top deck. It'd be like could you, but it'd be like It's a Small World, but like a club mix of It's a Small World. And I was so proud of that CD. I was like, yeah, I guess I got it. I got it in the Virgin Megastore. Yeah, it was a good thing. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, go on. So continue. We're going down memory lane here like nobody's business because those were the days.
Absolutely. Yes.
Sorry.
So that was day 4. Day 5, we went to Hollywood Studios. And we went to Toy Story Land. My daughter and husband, their favorite movies that they watched together since she was born are the Toy Story movies. Mm-hmm. So that was super cool to go in there and see everything. It was fantastic. We rode on Slinky Dog. We went on the Buzz Lightyear. I'm trying to think of the name of the ride.
Oh, Toy Story Mania, the shoot 'em.
Toy Story Mania.
Yep.
Yes. Went on that a few times. And we ended up meeting Jesse, Woody, and it was funny. My daughter was wearing a Jesse shirt, and Woody was kind of motioning to her like, "What about me?" sort of thing. You left me out. And then I pointed over to my husband, and he was wearing a Toy Story shirt that had Woody on it. And then Woody pulled my husband by the arm and pulled grabbed him and pulled him into the photo, which was kind of funny. So we have some pictures of that. That was really neat. And we were meeting I think we met Max when we were first walking into the toys, just before the Toy Story area. And my daughter and I are getting autographs. And I look over, and my husband's like, I'm more of the extrovert. My husband's more of an introvert. And I look over, and he's just leaning against the wall, and he's having this conversation with Dale. So he's holding Dale's nut. He's passed it over to him, and they're just having this kind of moment. And it was really cute. So I got a picture of that too. So I just looked over and didn't expect that to be happening. So it was pretty cute.
Anything can happen.
No one else was around, just the two of them kind of doing their thing. So yeah.
Be ready for anything. I love that. That's great. Oh my gosh. So Studios was a hit. So now, did you find, because the Studios is, I mean, obviously it's bigger now. You have Toy Story Land, you have Galaxy's. What about Galaxy's Edge? You guys spend any time back there?
I did. At points, I should mention during the trip, I was like all gung ho, pedal to the metal. I wanted to be in the parks all day. So there would be times where my husband and daughter kind of had enough of the heat or the crowd. So they would kind of take the transportation back, chill out in the room for a bit, and then come and meet me in the park later. So when they were doing that, I was able to hop on Rock and Roller Coaster, which they never would have gone on. I was able to go to, I went to the Villain Show, the Star Wars area. We're not huge fans of it at all, but I thought it was amazing what they've done, how immersive it is. I went on Star Tours because that ride was there when I was a kid. I remember going on that. And then I believe, I'm not sure of the name, but I know there's the two big attractions in the Star Wars area. I went on the one where that's not a huge wait.
Yeah, probably Smuggler's Run, the one in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, Smuggler's Run. I went on that, and I thought it was a really cool area, even though we're not fans. And we ended up going on the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which the last time I had been on that was the Great Movie Ride. So I do definitely miss the Great Movie Ride because of the nostalgia. But being on the railway ride, that was fantastic. Very well done. My daughter loved it. I thought they did a great job with that. We had been to Rosie's for lunch as we were kind of walking around. Saw a couple others, like I think we saw the Beauty and the Beast show there, Frozen. And then we ended up having dinner at Woody's Roundup Barbecue, which we had a really good experience there. And I thought we thought it was pretty neat how they pause at times and you're kind of like you're a toy in a toy box. So yeah, my daughter got a kick out of that. And we had a great meal there. And then we went and saw Fantasmic. And that was kind of dicey if the show would even be happening because there was lightning off in the distance, but the show ended up happening and we enjoyed that. So yeah, with that, we only did the one day at Hollywood Studios, but I found a lot had remained the same. A few additions here and there, obviously Toy Story World and the Star Wars, but for me, like majority of the park was kind of the same as I remember.
Yeah. I mean, physically and Fantasmic has kind of been. Fantasmic's a solid show that's been. I mean, it's been around for a while now, and except for they've updated some of the movies here in the last few years, but
yes,
the show's relatively unchanged. It's my wife's favorite nighttime spectacular and has been for a long, long time. Mine was always Illuminations, and now it's Happily Ever After. But yeah, obviously I use it. Yeah. That's why we have the two intros and outros because Illuminations is the outro and Fantasmic's the intro because of Pam.
Oh, that's cute.
That's why we had the two. Nice. We started this in 2008. It was a long time ago. I was like trying to think of something cute, but yeah, it's lasted all this time. Okay, so you did that. So yeah. I love all this. This is great stuff. Keep going.
Yeah. So day 6, we went back to Epcot. Actually, I'm the one. I went there and rope dropped. They stayed back at the hotel, slept in, took their time. I was gone. I just absolutely loved every moment that I was in Epcot. So rope dropped, and I got on Guardians, and I'm obsessed with that ride. It is a masterpiece. I loved it. It was fantastic. I went on that. I went on the new revamped test track, which I used to enjoy that ride when I worked there. And on my graduation day, when I was done the international program, they had a ceremony for the different, they would have a ceremony based on when you finished your contract. They would have a little ceremony. And I don't even remember what hall it was in. I remember going to the Odyssey area. Maybe they had a hall in there where they had the graduation ceremonies. I'm just trying to think back, but I'm not entirely sure. Mickey came, we got graduation caps with Mickey ears and certificates. And we just took off into the park the day of graduation and rode test track. So myself and a couple friends have our photo with our Mickey ears with the tassel hats on test track. I still have that photo.
Oh my gosh.
It was just a celebratory moment of finishing that year, being proud of finishing the year and being with your friends. And I have great memories from test track riding that ride. So I went on that.
Real quick, let me share this story with you real quick, just because it kind of goes with that. I remember being a guest, right? My family was there. This was a long time ago. We were closing out Epcot. We'd watched Illuminations. We were walking back out of the park, and we were passing through Future World at the time, passing Mouse Gears, and there was a group that you could tell they had the ears on, like the graduation ears. And they were cast members because I could hear them talking at the end of the program had ended, right? And you could tell they were getting ready to go their separate ways, and they were bawling, right? They were because the park was closing, so maybe this was their last night together, and they were like having their last hurrah. And like I just remember like seeing that it was emotional watching, because I don't know if they're international cast members and they're going to get back, go their separate way, the seven corners of the world, or. But I mean,
Absolutely.
even if you're not your college program, you're probably gonna go back to Alabama, California, or whatever. You're gonna be far away,
right?
But it was emotional, right? Because I mean, these bonds get made so quickly and so strong when you're living together, when you work like something at a place like Walt Disney World, or any kind of job like this where you're together, you're living together. The bonds get made so strong. And then you just got to sever them. Just ends like that, and you go back to your kind of quote real world. It's harsh, because I remember that, it is like I saw that and I'm just like, oof, man. Like it moved me to see like there's like a group of like 8 or 10, and they were going through it. I this is like 25 years ago, and when you said that, brought me right back. It was right next to Mouse Gears, and I was just like, whew, this is rough. But I mean, I get it, but that's because they made
those people are your
memories.
family.
They were,
they're your family when you're away from home. I had never been away from home before. I was 20 when I went down there. And I'm only from Canada, but some of these other countries are far away. You're away from your family, your friends, and the people you work with there and live with become your second family. Mm-hmm. So and you get very attached to the workplace as well, and the environment, and it's very, very emotional. Yes. And that's why I felt so emotional going back in, because there's a lot tied to it, a lot of memories, a lot of nostalgia, and it's like it was a second home to me for a year.
Yeah, I could see where it'd be really hard to leave a place like Walt Disney, because it's the place we spend thousands of dollars to go there. It's cool. It's an escape from the real world. I mean, it's work when you're there, but it's a cool place. So they were going through it. I just remember it was rough to see this from the guest perspective, because they did not want to leave each other. Okay, sorry, continue. I just want to throw that story out there for people because it's a special place.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The final day at Epcot, not the final day of the trip, but the final day that we were at Epcot, my daughter and my husband came to meet me in the park, and we went to Sunshine Seasons for lunch in that area. We went on Soarin', we went on Living with the Land, which we really enjoyed. We kind of walked around. My daughter really loved Spaceship Earth. She liked going on that a couple times. In the Moana area, she had a blast in there. She loved running through the water. So we enjoyed, just walking around. We were more in the Future World area. I'll always call it Future World, but Future World area as opposed to World Showcase on the final day at Epcot. Other than going to Mexico, I had to dine in the San Angel Inn for dinner because I loved that restaurant when I worked there. I became very close with a lot of the some of the Mexican cast members down there. There was a girl who lived in my apartment building, Ellen, and she worked at the San Angel Inn, and I went for dinner with her there, and I love the atmosphere. My husband and I, when we went to Disneyland, had dined at the Blue Bayou.
Oh, so good.
So that very much reminds me of the Mexican restaurant. And my daughter loved waving. We had a great dinner there. My daughter loved waving to all the boats as they passed by. We were right at the water, which was really nice. We had a nice dinner there and kind of walked around the shopping area inside there. And yeah, I probably went on Guardians again that day, I'm thinking. And I actually went, some people would call me crazy because it's not, I don't think it's a fan favorite, but Mission Space. I had to go on Mission Space. When I was working down there, I was a guinea pig as a cast member. It was just opening in and around the time I was working down there. So I still have the badge, Mission Space. I can't remember what it says now, but it's a Mission Space badge for cast members for trying out the ride. So I went on the orange side, and as I'm sitting in the ride, well, actually, before I even got on the ride, it was delayed twice because they had to clean it up.
Oh my gosh!
So I wasn't sure if I'd actually be able to get on the ride.
It's like the Mickey's Fun Wheel at Disney, at DCA. Like I was getting right. I'm like, no thanks. I got to keep cleaning this thing up. Pass.
Yes, absolutely. But I got on it, and as I'm sitting there, I thought, oh my gosh, what have I done? What am I doing? But then I kind of just got immersed in it and ended up being fine because I can pretty much handle any rides. They don't really bother me, but that one's intense.
Yes.
But I'm definitely glad I got to go on that one again. That would definitely be a major no for my husband. That he didn't even go on green, but I was glad I was able to at least go on Mission Space. Yeah, so we had a great day at Epcot. Took my time, kind of lingering in the park before we left. Kind of saying goodbye to the Canadian Pavilion. I ended up having, like, that morning when I went to rope drop Epcot, I went and just had my coffee and I sat on a bench outside of Le Cellier. Nobody was around.
Kind of back in that Victoria Gardens area, because it's so beautiful back in that corner.
Yeah,
that's probably one of the most beautiful spots on property right back in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I had a great morning there. So I kind of sort of said my goodbyes there. And the final day we were at Magic Kingdom. That was our final day, and we had a great day there. We went on as many rides as we could get to. I didn't do lightning lanes for this trip because for me, when I worked down there, when I was there as a young person, there was fast passes and we didn't pay for them. So I didn't do the lightning lane thing. In retrospect, I would do it next time, definitely. So we wouldn't have to wait for a few things, but we got on as much as we could, and we ended up having lunch at Liberty Tree Tavern. That was kind of a nice, on the second floor, kind of relaxing spot, a quiet spot. We enjoyed our lunch there, and we ended up having dinner at Cinderella's Castle, which was absolutely amazing. My daughter ended up bringing her belle dress that she got at the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique on the Disney Wonder. I brought it in my backpack, and then we went and changed, and then so she was dolled up with her dress and her crown, and yeah, we had a great time there. She met a bunch of different princesses, and she felt like a princess at dinner. It was quite the experience. I had been there once before with my sister. She came and visited me at Christmas time when I was working at Epcot, and my sister and I had gone there for dinner, but it was magical to have my daughter there all dressed up. It was a really good experience.
And I love that you saved it to the very end of the trip because you knew what you were going to get to do. Like it makes the end of the trip a little bit easier to take when you have something that cool to look forward to at the end. That's how you do it. For anybody that's new to hold this whole thing, like do the coolest experience at the very end. It makes the end of the trip
the grand finale.
Yes. Yeah. The wait time is so sad. And now you'll always have that memory. I always say, especially like you got to do Cinderella's Royal Table once, because now anytime you watch a Disney movie, like, oh, we ate at the castle.
That's
when
right.
the movie starts, that's kind of fun. What a great trip. So it was like a trip down memory lane for you. What was the feedback kind of like in the, you guys got home, like from your daughter and your husband? I mean, their first trip. What were they talking about, days later, weeks later? Like, what were their memories? What were their favorite things?
Well, they found it super cool to be at Epcot and to see where I worked, just to meet all the different characters, Toy Story Land. Believe it or not, my husband actually prefers the Disney cruise.
I get it.
I think at times, yes, I think at times, because he is an introvert, he's a homebody. It was the heat. It was maybe having to wait in lines. So looking back in retrospect, lightning lanes would have definitely helped with that. And just the crowds at Magic Kingdom. He says, you know, when you're on the cruise, it's a set amount of people and that's it. So there's like 2,500 people on the Wonder. That's it. There's not like thousands and thousands of people like at Magic Kingdom. So in the future, maybe we would consider doing like maybe a couple days at the parks and then maybe hop on a cruise for like a 3 or 4 night cruise and kind of find like a happy medium. I could be in the parks like all day, every day. I'm in my glory, but just trying to find happy medium as a family. But we had some great times. They loved seeing my like apartment complex and kind of the area that I lived in. And my daughter, yeah, she loved meeting the characters. Loved the Haunted Mansion ride. That was one of her favorites. She loved Soarin', Spaceship Earth. Yeah, so we ended up seeing Starlight that final night after Cinderella's Royal Table. My daughter and I were able to see Starlight. We loved the parade. It was fantastic. I wanted to stay for Happily Ever After, but it was getting late, and I just was a little concerned with the transportation, getting back to Pop Century, how that was going to look for her, you know, being 7. And so we didn't end up staying for Happily Ever After, but I'm hoping when we go on our trip in August that we can squeeze that in. I'd like to see Happily Ever After.
Do see Happily Ever After. I know just from how we're talking, you'll be crying. you'll be tearing up. Like it's so good. Sure. It's so good. But okay, let me ask you.
I was crying when I walked down Main Street USA. When I first walked into Magic Kingdom, I was like, wow, this just seeing the castle and brought me to tears, you know. I was very emotional at Epcot too. So yeah, I definitely most likely would cry at Happily Ever After.
Yeah, Happily Ever After is good. Be ready. It's so good. So, by the way, when you get to Disney, I'll be saying this for the next 6 months. When you get to Disneyland, Paint the Night is so. I was a Spectral Magic apologist, and Spectral Magic is still unbelievable. So is Main Street Electrical Parade. Paint the Night. I can't believe I'm saying this out loud into the microphone. Paint the Night's the best nighttime parade I've ever seen. It is incredible. Oh my gosh, and I love Spectral. I have a Spectral Magic shirt. Anyway, so real quick, I want to ask you one more thing before we go, because you mentioned your August trip. You're going on the Treasure. Now you've been on the Wonder.
Yes.
So just real quick, like in a few seconds, what are you looking forward to on the Treasure? Because I'm sure you're like looking at vlogs and stuff like that, doing research.
Yes.
What are you most pumped about on the Treasure?
On the Treasure, it's the Haunted Mansion parlor. Because
that's it.
When I first heard this boat was being built, I have to be on this boat. This is awesome. It's my favorite attraction. I'm interested in seeing that, and we had such a great experience on the Disney Wonder that I just can't wait to be back on Disney Cruise Line again, and just to see it's newer, bigger. There's more features that are more like attractions from the parks. So I'm interested in just seeing the Disney touches, the Disney, like just the different lounges they have that are themed, just the theming. I think that's the word I was looking for, the theming. I'm just looking to see the theming from the parks throughout the boat. Yeah, I just can't wait. So we're staying 2 nights before at Port Orleans Riverside in the Royal Room. Nice. For our daughter to have that experience in that room. I really like the look of it. I think she'll get a kick out of that. One day, like a park hopper day, to go to Epcot and probably Animal Kingdom, because my daughter and my husband really enjoyed that park, and then the Disney Treasure. So and Coco. I should mention, like, I'm thrilled about the Coco restaurant. That's my favorite Disney movie. So I cannot wait. Just seeing what I've seen online and the atmosphere and the show that's in there. The Moana stage show. Like, there's just so many things that I'm just so excited about.
I'll tell you, don't miss I was going to say, don't miss the Moana show. That Coco restaurant is incredible. The performers are unbelievable. And I mean, you get Mexican food on a cruise ship. Like, you never get that on a cruise ship. That's like I always said, the one thing that's missing on a cruise ship is Mexican food, and you get that.
Right.
The other
I'm
thing
a
I
huge
would say,
Mexican food fan.
Same. El Rancho del Zocalo 3 times when I was out there a couple weeks ago. And and I could have had it 4. And the one other thing I say with the Wish class ships that I think people forget about, especially if you have, I mean, shoot, Pam and I went there. We were on the Destiny by ourselves. We didn't have kids. The Hero Zone, which is that kind of multi-purpose room. It's kind of like a big gym.
Yes.
We had a good time in there because that, like, especially with your daughter, like they'll set up an obstacle course, like themed to the Incredibles, and they can race, like she could race her dad or race you. And they have contests. like we played cornhole in there. There's air hockey, there's foosball, there's ping pong, and
That's awesome.
and it's, it's like a lot of times it's kind of open play. Just you can drop in and just, kill 15, 20 minutes in between activities. It's a nice little area. It's hidden up there kind of in a corner of it's gigantic. I don't know how they hide it like that, but it's a great venue. So don't sleep on the hero zone on the Wish class ships. They're kind of fun. It's a good way for a kid to burn some energy. Get out there,
Absolutely.
shoot
Good
some
to
hoops.
know.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, hey.
And
Rebecca, it's so much fun going down memory lane with you. I'm glad we're like on the same wave. Like, it's fun talking a little Pleasure Island there. Well, those are the days
Absolutely.
you're going through the ticket booth and the caboose up there. I remember
Yes.
that's good stuff. Man, it's because I feel like I'm getting so old because I talk about things like this. People are like, wait, what? I'm like, just never mind. It was.
I love the nostalgia too. It's awesome. Yes.
All right. Well, appreciate you and enjoy Family Day up there today up in Canada. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed being on the podcast, and happy President's Day to everyone. And you take care.
All right. Don't forget, today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you plan your next Disney adventure for no additional cost to you. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you do that online shopping. Just one extra click supports our podcast throughout the year. It's very simple. Just click through beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. You guys are the folks that keep us on the air. I cannot thank you enough for that. It's just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show called Mike in the Midwest. So come on over this week. We'd love to have you at patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Don't forget, you can give me a follow on the social media. Who knows what I'll be up to this week, but could be interesting. Follow me at BeOurGuestMike on Instagram, X.com, and Threads. Also, the Clubhouse is where we all hang out 24/7, 365. It's the nicest Disney community out there, free for everybody. It's our Discord server. Coming over, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. And no live show this Sunday. We're going to skip that one this Sunday, so we'll let you know when those resume, but they'll be soon. But we're not going to have one this Sunday. All right, so for Rebecca up in Canada, I'm Mike here in Missouri. You guys have a great Monday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon.
You've been listening to the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. If you have questions, comments, or would like to be a guest on the show, please visit our website at beourguestpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you real soon.